What's cooking? Miss Purple here, and we're gonna react to the David situation. Is disgusting. I never watched this video, and this is by Timmy FNBR. And yeah, I've never watched this video, trying to see more. And I've seen this everywhere on my feed on Twitter and shit. So let's just get right into it. This shit is crazy.
A gruesome discovery in a tow yard.
Authorities say they were called to an impound lot in Hollywood after someone noticed a foul odor coming from a car.
A woman's body stuffed into a Tesla, left for days or even weeks on the streets of Hollywood.
But Eyewitness News has learned the 2023 Tesla is registered in Hempstead, Texas to multi-platinum artist and musician David Anthony Burke, known professionally as David.
David.
On September. I can't cap, guys. I was listening to some of his music. Some of his shit is fire.
September 8th of 2025, police
I guess you never know. You never know, I guess.
officers were called to an impound car lot on North Mansfield Avenue in Hollywood, California. There were reports of a foul odor coming from a car on the lot. The smell could have been anything, maybe a dead animal in an engine, or some kind of old takeout rotting in the California heat. But when the cops arrived, they found something a lot more sinister. The smell was coming from a black Tesla that had gotten to the lot just a few days before the calls came in. Apparently, this was found abandoned somewhere in Los Angeles up in the Hollywood Hills. And when the police opened up the trunk of the car to take a closer look, they found a body wrapped inside of a bag left like trash. Of course, the cops immediately went to see who the car was registered to, trying to find out who this person's killer was. But to their surprise, this abandoned car wasn't registered to some random person. Instead, this car was registered to the one-time Fortnite pro, now millionaire musician, David.
Shitty ad. L ad. L fucking ad.
About 8 days ago, a story broke about a dead body being found in the back of singer David's car. And for those of you that are wondering why we're talking about this on my Fortnite channel, it's because David actually started off his career as a musician by making his own music for his own Fortnite montages. I have an entire separate video where I cover David's entire backstory and come up, and I'll leave that linked in the description below if you guys are interested. Fast forward to a week ago, and all of this seemed to not matter as the cops were closing in on David.
You think I'm better than him? I think I'm better. I can beat him 1v1.
At the time that the body was found, David was on tour and was somewhere in between Madison, Wisconsin and Minneapolis, Minnesota, almost 2,000 miles away from Los Angeles. And given that his tour started all the way back at the beginning of August, he hasn't even been in the state of California since August 5th. When this information was released to the public, most people just assumed that David was innocent because people thought that this body that was just found must have been placed there just a few days ago. However, that will prove to be untrue, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Even though he had been on tour, a spokesperson from David's team came out and released a statement to the news saying David has been informed about what happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. So based on this information, it looked like David had an alibi. The car had been abandoned for weeks, he was on tour for months, and he's doing everything he can to work with the authorities. Not to mention that the car was found in one of the worst neighborhoods in LA. The media circus around this body being found in the car would die down after just a couple of days, and everything seemingly went back to normal. David kept doing his tour and sang his heart out like nothing was wrong on stage, and the story fell out of the public eye. But then the body was identified. Just yesterday, on Wednesday, September 17th of 2025, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office identified the body found in David's car. And this wasn't a grown woman like they had previously reported. It was a 15-year-old girl. Just a quick disclaimer, I am not going to be using this young girl's name because she's a minor, and I'm not going to be showing her face throughout this video. I know this information is already out there, but to be respectful of her family, I'm choosing to not show either of those things, and I'll refer to her as her initials, CV. This poor girl had been reported missing since April 5th of 2024, which means that by the time she was found, she had been missing for over a year from her family. In the original reports, nobody mentioned any connection between her and the singer David. But as the day went on, some pretty damning information started to leak onto social media. One of the first things that people noticed was that David and the girl CV had matching tattoos. They both had SH or SHH tattooed on their right index fingers. And although this tattoo isn't unheard of, it's not exactly the most popular tattoo of all time, and it's not like something more simple such as an infinity sign or a butterfly. This was a pretty specific tattoo on the same exact location. Before I go on and continue to talk about the evidence that my team and I found throughout the day, I want to say that these are all still allegations, so please keep that in mind when I'm showing you all of this evidence, that David has not been proven guilty or even charged in a court of law yet. And although that is something that may possibly be coming as people are suspecting, it has not happened yet, so please do not harass anybody over this information. Because of these matching tattoos, people started to dig into David's internet history to see if there were any more red flags or connections between him and CV. One of the first things that we came across while digging into this was the fact that the girl's mother had reported to TMZ that she was seeing a boyfriend named David at the time that she went missing. Obviously, David is an incredibly common name,
if
but
David knows this person and stuff, why does God put it straight in the trunk? Like, why in his own trunk? You know, and watch him in. Like, yo, is he smarter than that? Like, come on, I'll be tripping.
with all the previous details released, it kept getting harder and harder for me and my team to ignore that this probably wasn't just a tragic coincidence. Because of this, internet sleuths started to dig up David's internet history completely and find any drop of evidence they could. It's important to point out that David had a long history on the internet. Way before you guys knew him as a music star, most of us in my community would have known him as a Fortnite YouTuber. And because basically all of his life was spent on the internet, he happens to have a lot of his life just out in the open. And because of this, multiple Twitter users have compiled lists of screenshots that are pretty damning. To start off with, there have been a bunch of screenshots of David speaking with an alleged young girl who shared a first name with the victim. And shortly after that last photo was posted, David recorded a song that also shares C's first name. While the song was never released, a version of the unreleased song was uploaded to Twitter, and the words are definitely concerning. I'm not going to be playing any of David's music for obvious copyright reasons, as they might try to take this video down, but even reading the lyrics would make me uncomfortable, so I'm just going to put them up on the screen. Clearly, the song implies a relationship between the two, and if the C in the song is the same as the girl in this case, that means she was only 13 years old at the time of David writing this song. At that time, David was already...
Hi, we're Shiming and Amber. Here's how we created our Pet Steps app for a class project.
Already 18 years old, about to turn 19 years old, and most definitely an adult. Since we're on the topic of songs, it's also possible that two of David's most popular songs of all time were written for C because their music videos were both released on her birthday. The first one being one of his most popular songs of all time, Romantic Homicide, which is incredibly ironic based on the current allegations. Once again, this video was released on September 7th, which was C's birthday. The following year, he would release the music video for Rehab, which also came out on September 7th, this time in 2023. While this could have just had something to do with David's release schedule, there's some more details I'm going to share with you that make it seem like that isn't the case. The contents of these videos are a little bit concerning now that we have more information. Both videos feature a blindfolded David as the main character. Not only that, but both of the videos have girls in them that look shockingly similar to what C might look like dying at David's hands in these videos. I'm absolutely not calling this proof or something that would even hold up at all in a court of law, but it's pretty weird when you look at the fact that this happened not only once, but twice, and they were released on her birthday. Another benefit of David having been involved in the Fortnite community for so long is that he has a pretty active Discord server that we were able to gather some information from. If you go into the server, a majority of the community seemed to know that David was somehow involved with this girl whose name started with C. Some even saying at points she would appear on his streams, and messages about C going all the way back to the year 2022. Once people started to mention the fact that they had seen her on streams, the internet detectives went looking for any possible clip that could prove that these two were together, and they did their job. They managed to find this clip of David with a girl who looks very much like C in an arcade.
It's in water. It's in water.
Oh, you look good.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
And if her looks weren't enough, you can also see that the girl in this video was wearing the exact same Gap sweatshirt that C was wearing in her missing persons flyer. Outside of stuff that specifically showed the victim, other users are making very serious accusations that they've seen David around this area where the girl was from. More specifically, he allegedly paid off people that knew he was involved with this relationship with a minor. I want to add that this is the most viral evidence that's been going around for the last 8 hours, and by the time that I get this edited and uploaded to you guys, there might be more that I wasn't able to include, so I'll try to keep you guys updated with future videos and by updating the description. As I previously said, David was a pillar of the internet community. Given the fact that David had gone from being a Fortnite YouTuber to being a multi-millionaire musician with platinum records on the top billboards, it was no doubt that people were going to talk about this, and it had XQC, one of the biggest streamers in the world, looking into all of the evidence live on stream today.
Chat, I gotta say, chat, I gotta say,
people he collabed with are taking their songs down. Multiple major celebrities have been unfollowing David on Instagram, and one of the celebrities that would unfollow him is Clicks, who, if you're in my community, you definitely know. But for those of you who aren't fans of Fortnite, Clicks is one of the biggest Fortnite creators in the entire world, and him and David have worked together in the past, as you can see from this picture. So the fact that he unfollowed him is definitely telling. Just to be clear, at the time of recording this video, no arrests have been made, but it is clear that there is definitely some connection between David and this victim. In the next few days, I wouldn't be surprised if we learn a whole lot more about the situation, and just so you guys know that David clearly has seen all of this and his team is taking these allegations very seriously. He was supposed to play a show last night in Seattle, and he has since canceled it.
David canceled his second show in Seattle tonight. It comes after a police investigation is unfolding in Los Angeles.
To round out this video, I do want to say this is an incredibly heavy topic to discuss. If anybody is feeling upset or wants to talk to somebody, please call or text 988. It is the National Crisis Lifeline. They speak English and Spanish and are available 24 hours a day if you need support. Or if you're a kid, please reach out to a trusted adult. On top of that, I'm going to leave a link to www.thehotline.org for anybody who feels like they might be in danger. Thank you guys so much for watching.
W video. That's crazy though. Shit, life is crazy, bro. Shit, these people are crazy out here. Watch out, be careful, you know, shit. But yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what y'all think or what video I should react to next. And yeah, whole lot of gang shit, purple gang shit. You know how it is, man.
You know you don't want, so please just give up. I went back into the bases where I went 'cause I was sad. And one day I'ma make it to the money, to the back.